everybody, and welcome to Mego Museum's Vintage Mego. I'm your host, Brian, and this week we are going back to the interchangeable world of the Micronauts with a look at one of my favorite toys in the line, the mid-size playset, the Astro Station. Mego described this set in their 1977 catalog as a compact box of surprises that opens up and wow, it's a mini space station equipped with launchers and safety tip missiles, an ejector missile system to toss off Micronaut figures, a scramble chute for quick evacuations, a suspended animation capsule designed for one Micronaut figure, and seats to fit 4 Micronaut adventurers. Before we get into this figure, let's do a little bit of a backstory on the Micronauts. Micronauts started off in the early 1970s in Japan by a company called Takara. Under the banner of Microman, or Microman, this toy line was actually spawned out of another Takara toy line called Henshin Cyborg. Henshin Cyborg was 12 inches tall, and it became costly to do vehicles and playsets, so Takara thought to create a smaller scale version so they could more cost-effectively create vehicles and playsets. Microman was a huge hit in Japan, but Takara wisely sought some foreign investment, some partnerships that could help them expand the brand and take some of the tooling costs off of them. A firm out of the United States called Cal R&D began shopping the line to toy makers, and it caught the eye of Mego's Marty Abrams and Neil Kublin. They were so impressed with the line that they flew to Japan and sealed the deal for worldwide rights to a toy line they would redub the Micronauts. Mego would eschew any sort of storytelling that Takara had created and left the story somewhat open to interpretation, a little ambiguous for kids. It told you who the bad guy was, but not why he was the bad guy. This would change, however, when in 1978 Marvel Comics would license the Micronauts and create an incredible backstory that actually fit right into the Marvel universe. It was pretty amazing. Another innovation that Mego created for the Micronauts was the packaging. Black was a no-no for children's toys at the time, but thanks to the work of Harold Schull and art director Marty Harrison, they proved everybody wrong by creating some of the strongest packaging of the 1970s. The Micronauts toy line debuted in 1977 with much hoopla and ballyhoo from Mego. The line was an instant success for Mego, breaking some sales records. It didn't hurt that the entire country was in science fiction mania thanks to a film called Star Wars that came out in May that year, and that Kenner, the license holder for Star Wars, didn't have anything on the shelves. So for Christmas 1977, you had these hungry children looking for space toys, and there are the Micronauts. It also didn't hurt that when Kenner did finally create their own action figure line, it was in the same scale as the Micronauts, making for an awesome Christmas 1978 as well. The Astro Station, our subject today, was in the initial offering of Micronauts figures and playset. It is a mid-priced item. Like a lot of the early output for Mego's Micronauts, this is designed by Takara, and it was originally called the Microman Conning Station. It also doesn't appear that Mego changed a terrific amount about the toy itself. They are nearly identical, save for the packaging, of course. The toy itself is almost like a lunar lander base of sorts. Its clever design allows you to kind of fold it all together, making it rather compact for storage. It expands to a much larger play area. The toy has some wonderful special features, and we're going to go over all of them. The rear of the ship folds out and includes 2 seats and a neutron missile gun, that is a spring-loaded gun that fires a missile. These missiles are, of course, rubber-tipped safety missiles. The ejector missile is a spring-loaded contraption meant to launch your Micronauts into the air. Mine is unfortunately missing the spring, but from what I understand, this worked almost too well and probably involved breaking some Micronauts figures. The silver sarcophagus that is inside the set is known as the hibernation capsule. And it would play a very important part in the Marvel Comics adaptation, as this would be what Commander Ron, the space glider, would use to hibernate and return to the microverse. The front folds out to showcase a autometer control panel, and a sliding lever below the chairs allowed you to move your Micronaut figures around inside. This was, of course, protected by a ray wave missile gun that, again, included 2 rubber-tipped safety missiles. The scramble chute, or as I like to call it, Super Happy Fun Slide, is a way for your Microman figures to make a quick evacuation from the Astro Station. Say that 3 times fast. As mentioned earlier, the Astro Station was depicted as a critical part of the Marvel Comics adaptation. It was depicted in the comics as being part of the HMS Endeavour, which was piloted by the comic's main protagonist, Commander Arcturus Ron. The Astro Station was released internationally in England by Airfix Toys, in Canada by Grand Toys, and in France by Pin Toys. It would be featured in Mego catalogs until 1979, when it was discontinued. However, it would not be the last time it was on toy store shelves. It would return in the 1980s, when the Micronaut molds were redone for a line called Interchangeables by a company called Our Toys. The Our Toys version would be called the Cosmic Emergency Defense Module, or the CEDM for short. The most notable changes are the very bright primary color scheme and the rebranding of the hibernation chamber into the Time Transport Chamber. In 1980, Mego did try to pitch the Astro Station under the Buck Rogers brand. This time it was called the Star Shuttle. There were a few different Micronaut items that Mego tried to repackage, and very few got made. And sadly, we do not have a Buck Rogers Star Shuttle. The Astro Station would return in an homage in 2016 by Hasbro when they released 3 Micronauts action figures as part of a San Diego Comic-Con promotion. The 3 figures were available in a cube box. When opened, it would be revealed that the 3 figures were in a cardboard version of the original Astro Station, which was a lovely touch. So that is my look at the Micronauts Astro Station. What do you think of this toy? Did you have it as a kid? Are you into Micronauts? You can let me know in the comments here below. Hit me up in our Facebook group, Mego Mania, or at the forums at megomuseum.com. No wrong way to do it, and I'm always ready to talk Micronauts. Thanks as always for watching. If you are new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. This is the kind of stuff I do every week. If you're not new, please consider hitting like or share. It really helps out the channel. That's it for me, but I will return soon with another toy video. Until next time, be well and talk toys, not others. Cheers. And hey, if you like what I do, please consider checking out my store. We have 8 issues of a magazine, 2 books, 3 action figures, and a growing number of collectibles on our site. The link is below. Thank you for considering.